Welcome to Toffee TV, welcome to our loyal patron viewers as well. We are taking comments off them. If you are joining us, please leave your comments on today's events. Ronald Koeman, Baz has been sacked. I know you're devastated, I know you love the man. You treat him like a father. It's like the father you never had, because you never had a Dutch father. So that all works anyway.
It works, yeah.
So
I wouldn't swap my dad for Ronald Koeman. So
no, I wouldn't expect you to, mate.
no, we
I wouldn't expect you to. So he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone, yeah.
We obviously responded really quickly to it. We had Derek Mountfield in the studio, and I suppose it was a bit of a shock because we just didn't really see it coming. He took training this morning. Well, you say you did, but he took training this morning.
Oh wait, had we had a discussion and you said he'll wait to the international break,
I thought
and I said they won't.
Okay, were you expecting it today?
No, expected it last night.
Okay,
but to be honest, I expected it. I didn't not expect it this week because I was thinking to myself, how can they not react to that? Do you know what I mean? But who knows? But yeah, I mean, it broke after. Well, you just read the thing out saying he took training, so obviously I suppose it was a bit of a shock that he'd finished training and done that. But it's done, and we move on, don't we?
What do we move on to?
Well, we've got to move forward. We've underperformed this season, there's no question about it. We've got much better players than our league position represents. That's not to say we're in a false position, because we're not, because we're playing poorly and we deserve to be where we are. But we've got players who are much better than where we are. Yeah. And I suppose we need somebody that's going to come in, get us organised, and get us some confidence and get us playing in a way that is going to put other teams on the back foot rather than us just looking lost like we do at the minute. Yeah,
I suppose now, I mean, obviously it looks like, even though I don't think it's been confirmed, David Unsworth will be taking the job, you know, in the short term. But long term, it's complicated, isn't it? It's been I think it's more complicated by the position we're in. When we sacked Martinez, it was the end of the season. It was a clean slate. We start again for the new season, but now it's not that easy, is it? I know it's only 9 games into the season, but the first thing a manager coming in is going to have to deal with is getting Everton out of that, you know, danger area, and then once that's done, the same manager has got to propel the team to try and start competing for a European place again. So I suppose it's almost like a double job in a way. But should it matter? Should it just be down to, well, a manager's been brought in to win games of football and that's all that matters?
Yeah. You can look at it any way you want. Had Everton have beaten Arsenal yesterday and we were winning, you know, we'd be 2 points behind Liverpool. Yeah. You know, and looking upwards, wouldn't we? We'd be looking. I think we'd have gone 12th or 13th if we'd have won. You know, you're talking 4 or 5 points off the Champions League spots or thereabouts. So it's still early enough in the season to be able to address this situation. We've got 4 games coming up now that there's a lot of points available.
Premier League games,
Premier League games. Where, you know, until we face our next challenge after that. So why not? You know, why not start picking up some points? Like I said before, there's good players. There's good players in that squad. They need a bit of discipline in terms of where they're playing and what areas they're dropping into. They need a bit of confidence in terms of where they attack. And they need to start scoring some goals and winning some games. And quite evidently, Ronald Koeman wasn't able to correct any of those issues because we haven't been scoring more goals and we've been conceding goals. So, you know, I believe that someone can come in, get us going, and they should be looking at 7th place again. That should be the aim.
Because it's not. Listen, it's not unattainable. The season is you know, we're only 9 games into the season, so it's definitely there to be got. John Fairlong has said, do you think Barkley will sign a new contract now, depending on who comes in, or does he want away?
I think it improves the percentage of him staying. I don't know how far down the line he is with Spurs and Chelsea, obviously all over him. And I suppose from Ross's point of view, he couldn't see Koeman leaving for 18 months. And it's all, footballers want everything now, don't they? So now, it depends obviously who takes over, but he might look and think, you know what, I'm an Evertonian and this is where I want to play my football.
Yeah,
or he might have made this decision.
Yeah, I was going to say, on the flip side, I suppose that the fact that he's not playing makes it easier for him, because it's not a case of he was left out or anything by the manager. I know maybe he already feels, well, I've already made my decision, or enough water's passed under the bridge to suggest that he still will go. Or maybe he'll feel like he's lost support from the Everton fans.
If he's fit in 4 or 5 weeks, he'll be playing for Everton.
No, I agree.
He can't leave until January, so he will play games for Everton.
But maybe Everton now will make more of an effort, or certainly a new manager would make more of an effort to convince him to
get
stay.
Someone to come in who thinks, you know what, I want to build my team around him, and go and speak to him and go, Ross, I want you to stay, I want to buy this, you're the kind of player. You might get a manager who comes in and goes, I agree with Ronald Koeman, not good enough, you know, for what I want. Yeah, and we're happy to sell you. Who knows?
Mark Welsh has said, got to get a top manager in. None of these up and coming managers or risks. We need a proven winner like Ancelotti, but not many choices, unfortunately. Going to be a tough decision. Who would you lads go for? Well, you've just said it yourself, Mark. There's not many about. That's the problem. You know, Ancelotti is, that's where he is, and everyone else is about there. But at the same time, Ancelotti is a Champions League manager, used to working with Champions League players, and some managers don't have that ability, I don't think, to drop down and work with lesser players. And it might have to be someone who is seen as an up-and-coming manager. I mean, is Sean Dyche seen as an up-and-coming manager? Is he on the same level as a Thomas Tuchel? You know, all right, Thomas Tuchel's had that experience of being at a big club in Dortmund, but didn't necessarily, it wasn't necessarily a success. So there are 3 or 4 managers on that kind of level, I'd say. And then, but are they under the level of the unattainable ones? You know, is it like a Champions League manager like Ancelotti? Then someone like Tuchel, who's out of a job and has had that experience, and then you drop down to a, or do you go after, or are there other ones out there like a Mancini, or you know, someone who's maybe tried and failed at a sort of Champions League level club? Do you go for one of them? I'm asking you, Baz. I'm asking you live.
Ancelotti, I'm not over enamoured with, because I actually think he's on the way down. I think he's done it at that level for so long that he's like, can I be arsed? That's what I get from him. You know what I mean? And I think the things like what you heard about Bayern Munich players, Arjen Robben said it, and training was terrible, and they had to go training on their own because his methods are outdated and stuff. Okay. But Tuchel is very much in the moment. Timo
has said, is Tuchel out of reach even if the board wanted him? Also, will Baz wave at me?
Hello, Timo. We won't know if Tuchel's out of reach until we go for him. He wanted the job in 2013. He might feel he's moved on from that. I don't know. But it's certainly a question Everton have to ask. You know,
I think Tuchel, what we've got going for us if we wanted Tuchel is... English is absolutely fantastic. Really good friends with Pep Guardiola.
Yes.
Very, very good friends with Pep Guardiola. In the same school of thought when it comes to football. So those things were definitely in our favour. Apparently quite abrasive man. That's not necessarily a bad thing as a manager. And very meticulous. Very meticulous as well.
He's very forward thinking. He tries all sorts of mad.
Did he bring in the thing at Dortmund, the cube?
Yeah.
Is that who brought it in? Basically, it's a cube where a player would stand in the middle and balls would be shot out and you would have to literally, I think there was like squares, and you'd actually have to get the ball and hit the square, and the lights were cut. Mad stuff.
I think it was him.
Mad
I might be wrong. It might have been Klopp. I'm someone who's working with Klopp.
It was never Klopp.
It wouldn't have been Klopp.
No.
If he'd bring anything in like that, you just say boom a lot.
Yeah, boom. We do not have defenders.
Boom.
Yeah.
No, but he's done all sorts of stuff where he's had them grab, you know, the blindfolds on and knowing where everyone is, and all mad things, which would go great at Finch Farm. But I think he's so forward thinking that he will be one for me, and I believe he is attainable, because I believe there'll be a lot of managers out there who look at Everton and go, the Premier League, hell of a lot of money that they're going to pay me, and they've got a hell of a lot of money to spend, and there's some good young players there, and there's a good squad of players. So I think Everton have got you know, a lot going for them, but convincing.
Callum Moore says, who would you take and what do you think Barkley's future at Everton is? Well, we've basically already gone over that, and but I mean, have you got a favourite at the moment that you want?
Tuchel. I've wanted them for 4 years, but I think if we couldn't get Tuchel, see, you were talking before about intermediate. There's like Paulo Fonseca at Shakhtar, who's been lifting his skirts up to Everton over the last week or so. You know what I mean? His skirts. There's him. He's a Champions League manager. Won the treble last season. He's a
Levels,
big gamble.
isn't it?
Levels. Guardiola again. Another competitor, trying to get all his mates in, but he's good mates with him. He's highly rated by Guardiola, but he's something of a you know.
Yeah. Why don't we go back?
Diego Simone.
Why don't we go back for Porto guy?
No. Vitor Pereira is done. He's wearing.
I want to manage it as an armband.
He's wearing flip flops somewhere. Melon on the beach.
Kane says, "How will Unsworth set the team up on Wednesday? I hope he brings us some wit to the lineup at least." Well, you'll have to watch the Starting 11 show if you want to know how they
He'll set us up like a mad bastard. He'll just run and score loads of goals. Kane.
Hopefully Wit is back.
Wit is
back.
Wit is
back
the new
again.
guy.
Guess who's back?
Tell the wings.
Yeah, can't edit live stuff, can you?
No.
Simon said, whoever takes charge for this week, do you think they will try and play full strength team for the cup game against Chelsea, or a weaker team to prioritise the game on the weekend? I think Unsworth will go probably for a half measure, which is probably what Koeman would have done anyway. He'll probably assess the squad. Let's be honest, it's all about points now. It's all about getting, for the next few weeks, just getting maximum points and doing whatever it takes to get maximum points. The same probably for Leon next week, taking a half a team and you know, not playing with half a team. That would be probably against the rules.
We probably
against
get
the rules
beat as well.
Yeah, you imagine we get beat. But they're the decisions he's got to make. I don't think you can make a decision based on, well, I want the job and I want to get off to a flying start, because I don't think necessarily. Well, some fans are fooled by that, but I think if a team's out there and they're set up and they have a good goal,
yeah, but it's a competition and it's a cup tie, and it could go to penalty. We could win and be in the next round. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll.
But is that worth it with the detriment to Sunday?
I don't think the nature of him is to take a defeat. I just don't.
Okay. Timo, if results change dramatically under Unsworth, do you think he could earn the job, a la Shakespeare?
But that's the worry, isn't it? The worry, well, not the worry, but I suppose that's the $1 million question in terms of whether you give him the job permanently. Is that you look and go, there might be an upturn in fortune, yeah, but can he sustain it, or is it going to be a case of there'll be an upturn, then there'll be a drop?
You've got to take emotion out of that decision, and if there is an upturn, what are the reasons for that upturn? You know,
if he's the best man for the job, he should get it.
You're that's what I'm saying. But are they football decisions that have got you the upturn, or is it just purely like with the Leicester thing last season? I just think it was a case of he played the players in a way they wanted to play. He gave them everything they wanted, and it was easy. That was they didn't go forward. They went backwards. They went back to something that won them the league. That's why they didn't like the manager, because he changed things and brought players in that they didn't think needed to bring in, and it was going against the spirit that won them the league. You know, that's why he was sacked. And Shakespeare just went, all right, lads, go back to what you were doing. A bit like when Dingle took over, Di Matteo took over at Chelsea. He just did the same thing. He just basically put in place what the players wanted and what suited them best, and it worked for a short period. Doesn't work long term, but I suppose if you get a European Cup in the mean, it's worth it, isn't it? Yeah. Howard Brennan says, whoever it is needs sitting down and Evan explained to him, Koeman never got us. Well, if it's Unsworth, that won't need to happen, will it? But you know what, I suppose what you'd want a manager coming in who's excited about that in the first place. Look at Martinez. Whatever you think of him, he from day one was like, oh my God, I'm here and I'm going to get involved and I'm going to love it. And I think one thing with Martinez as well, and it gets underestimated, it's who you put round them. And Martinez got Alan Myers put round him, and Alan Myers was just like, right, you know, Alan Myers got Kendall to Finch Farm, and it was all done in the right way to make things better. And people don't, you know, I know it's all part of the bigger thing to make things better.
The other thing with what Martinez's biggest downfall was his backroom staff. They're terrible. Yeah, they were terrible. If he'd have got some better backroom staff around him, he might have done better. If someone would have been able, someone he respected would have gone, listen, you know that you're supposed to defend as well as attack. Martinez might have been better.
No, I always loved the Graham Jones.
Oh, the set piece switch. The set piece switch, you can't underestimate. Too many clubs don't use the set piece switch, and I think, to be honest,
don't know how to use it.
I think to be honest, I just hope Liverpool never cotton onto it. If Liverpool cotton onto it, that's it. They'll win everything. If Klopp sits down in the brain, or whatever his name is, gets up and leans forward in a funny stance, the league better watch out.
Jack Chapman says, if Unsworth is hired temporary till the end of the season, what would you consider is good enough for him to be given the permanent job in the summer, or do you think he is not good experience enough to be given the full-time role? I suppose for me,
be Premier League Championship.
Yeah, just win the league.
Yeah.
If he wins the league, that'll be good enough. I think. Right. I mean, you know, he's already won one Premier League trophy.
Yeah.
I think it's, as just said, it's a lot of factors. It's not, you've got to take emotion out of it. Me and Baz talked about it on another video. My heart would absolutely, I'd be giving it to Unsworth, but you know, obviously my head says different things, and it's a case of just seeing how it all fits together, and if it fits together.
You've got to start somewhere, though, haven't you?
No.
All of these managers have started somewhere. Just because you can take over a job somewhere, say like Unsworth had gone, I don't know, to Hull City for argument's sake in the Championship and got them promoted, and then he'd finished 8th and 5th or 6th or something. Why would that mean he would then go to Everton and be amazing because he was able to get Hull to? There's a lot of factors in that, do you know what I mean? Some managers, there's not many managers who you can guarantee success with apart from Jose Mourinho in world football. You know, if you look at Arsene Wenger, is a brilliant manager because he's kept Arsenal up there for so many year after year after year after year without spending massive amounts of money. But other managers, I mean, I think Liverpool probably expected more of Klopp. I don't think he's really delivered. You know, Pochettino is fantastic at Tottenham, but he hasn't delivered them a trophy. You know, Pep, so far, Man City look amazing, but if City don't win the league this year, at the moment it looks like they'll walk it, but if they didn't win the league this year, he's had a hell of a lot of money with a big reputation and they don't win the league. So there's no guarantee of success, and every manager has to begin somewhere. And I suppose David Unsworth would say, well, how will you know if he don't give me it? You know, and if he does get it and he does well, why shouldn't he be the manager?
We'll wait and see. Johnny Hickey says, what target would you give a new manager for the season to challenge him and also keep the fans satisfied? Top half finish, I'd say.
Got to. Listen, what are we, 6-7 points off? 5th. I'd be saying top 8. It's got to be the challenge. I'd be honest, I still expect us to be. I'd still expect us to have a right good go at 7th. You know, finish where we did last year.
Just win the FA Cup as well,
and just win the cup, and then maybe win the Europa League as well. And if you're asked, win the Carabao Cup as well.
Yeah, win everything
just for a laugh. We don't win the league because we're not going to do that. But the other 3.
Chris Donahue says, "Are tighty whites ever acceptable on a football pitch?"
Tighty whites.
Yeah, like Dominic Calvert-Lewin yesterday.
They've got to be one.
Yeah.
They've got.
Imagine if they weren't one. And he was in front of the family enclosure.
Otherwise, your junk's everywhere.
Yeah. You don't want your junk everywhere.
You've got to wear those.
Don't want your junk everywhere. David Ellington says, "Only just switched on. I wanted Rafa when we ended up with Comical. What do you think of him? He was willing to join us."
He did want to come. I know for a fact he wanted the Everton job. He agent pestered the club. Probably if we'd have had Benitez, we'd have probably had a trophy by now.
Never want Benitez.
I'm not saying you want him.
No.
And I'm not saying you'd like it, but I'm factually saying look at Newcastle. They are shite.
No, they're organised.
Shite players, but he's got them organised and they're doing clean sheets galore, and
it's Rafa though. Dave McBride says, apart from Tuchel, do you think Mancini would be good fit for us?
See, Mancini's a good manager, and he's a strong character. He's a bit arms in the air and all that palaver.
Like he doesn't care.
He does. He waves them around like he doesn't care as well. And he's great for wearing a scarf. Imagine with the blue and white Everton scarf with the C.
Isn't he more of a fit for Leicester?
Well, ex-Leicester player, of course.
There you go. See,
fit. But he's won the Premier League with Manchester City. And I think he won the FA Cup. He is a good manager. He's a bit of a narky get as well, like, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a bit irritable.
Well, he's a
good
Italian
manager. So I think Mancini would. Mancini is a shout.
Okay, George Steer says if it's not about getting a big name, Koeman was that. Need a young, hungry manager with Everton's best interest at heart.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm subscribing to that.
Yeah. Rather
than Ancelotti.
Yeah. Fair enough. Gary O'Sullivan.
This Gary who loves the podcast.
Got his t-shirt today. He loves the podcast. I'm surprised he's watching. I'm surprised he didn't just ask for it. Darren Newton says, been some shouts for Big Sam. He's proven to turn around teams. Thoughts on this, even if it was just at the end of the season. It's what you're projecting though. If you bring in a Big Sam, like there's a box. Big Sam. And do we want to bring someone in just the end of the season? I mean, there's still a hell of a lot of season left.
There is.
You know what I mean?
If this was February, I'd be going, oh shit, yeah, call for Big Sam and his pint of wine. But
should get it just for that. Big wine.
Nope.
Paul says,
Peter Reid the job.
David Wagner thoughts. Seems a very impressive manager.
He does. He's doing fantastically well with Huddersfield. He's a bit like Jürgen, isn't he? Boom, he's his mate and all that. But I don't know. It's early, and would he leave Huddersfield at the moment because he's settled and they're doing well, aren't he?
Gets to say boom a lot.
Does he say boom?
I don't know. I think he might say boom boom.
He says the double boom.
Basil Brush. James Bradford says, if you think Unsworth has potential to be Everton manager one day, he must be promoted to the first team setup. When the chance comes, he will be ready to step up. I think we talked about this as well, about maybe the fact of getting someone like an Ancelotti as a manager and getting Unsworth as a second in, you know, and maybe
with a chain of command.
Yeah, with maybe if it being like an 18-month contract, so that Unsworth eventually managed. I think that the problem is, while he's the under 23 and he is literally the manager of this little small club called Everton under 23s, so it would be hard for him to do both. It's just whether he'd be willing to take the step up. But if there is a chain, then he probably would.
All right, then let me just ask you this: Ancelotti comes in, Unsworth's promoted, Everton struggle.
Yeah.
Ancelotti's sacked.
Yeah.
Why would you give it to Unsworth? Because won't people say?
Well, that's the
Isn't it the same argument?
It's the Gary Neville argument, isn't it, for England?
And the same argument with Duncan Ferguson, no? People, some Everton fans will be like, give it a big dunk, he'll get them passion going, he'll be punching. Well, isn't he doing that now? He's in that first team setup now. That's the worry, isn't it? That it's nice when you're thinking about, we'll have this lovely handover period. We'll have Ancelotti or someone in. He'll guide us, steer the ship, and then he'll go off into the sunset on his cruising under it. He'll step into the range and we'll go amazing. But I saw the greatest Everton side ever with two of the great, you know, Howard Kendall, one of the best managers, best English managers, and Colin Harvey, undoubtedly one of the best coaches around. Harvey stepped up and Everton sailed off.
Gary O'Sullivan, what do you think of Silva from Watford? So we spoke about this, but don't think we can get him. Don't think we get him.
Excellent, excellent.
Just don't think we could get him.
3 months into the Watford job, not happening.
Vinnie Jones said, "Who would be your choice for the longer term?" Loved you in Lockstock, by the way.
I don't say, isn't he a mean machine as well?
Yeah.
Vinnie, good actor, well. He was good in Lockstock, to be fair. Who
would be your choice for the longer term?
Tuchel. Listen, I'm not discounting Sean Dyche either.
No. Couple more, because we should be on. Craig Wilson says, thoughts on Ryan Giggs' comments earlier today.
It's nice that Ryan Giggs says we're a fantastic club, but I like Ryan Giggs, but you know, I just wouldn't leave him.
If it was going to be Ryan Giggs or Unsworth, be Unsworth, wouldn't it? All day long. If you were going to give him someone his first chance at a management job, it would be Unsworth. Peter Knight says, do you think...
Yeah, and it's fine, because Ryan Giggs would want to go to United ultimately. Whereas Unsworth, pinnacle would be Everton.
Peter Knight, do you think we will get rid of the whole of the first team backroom staff, including Big Dunk? Seeing a lot saying he's been part of the problem with the last two managers. I think that's harsh. I think he might not be, unless it's Unsworth, given another role, but I do think there's a role for him at the club. It just mightn't be the first team. But I do think there's a role for him at the club in the coaching capacity. It just might be time to not be the first team, which is sad.
I think he might just be one of those fellas that just stays in that first team squad, but doesn't really.
Was it Tony Buck at City?
Yeah, he was
there
just
for literally ever.
Yeah, he was just always around. Pat Rice at Arsenal was always hovering around, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah.
It might be that.
Paul Roberts has just said Martin O'Neill. Nah, you're alright, mate.
No.
Timo says Eddie Howe seems to have fallen out of favour. Do you think it's time to give him a shot at a bigger club? See, I look at Eddie Howe and I'd say, well, why Eddie Howe when you can have Sean Dyche? When Sean Dyche seems to be doing it. If you're going to go that route, Sean Dyche seems to be doing a better job.
Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job at Bournemouth, but he, again, it's a bit like he's like a little bit of a better version of Martinez for me. It's that he hasn't learned from some of his mistakes. I mean, Sean Dyche is someone who looks like he's learned from. He knows how to learn.
And he's scary as well. He talks like that.
Where Eddie Howe's still passing the ball and passing the ball and passing the ball, and it's ending up in his net. So
we'll wait and see. We will wait and see. Thank you for all your comments and questions, and for just watching us. Basically, just generally watching us. If you're watching this and you're not on Patreon, then you need to join us on Patreon if you want to get involved. I know there's probably loads of you screaming at me on YouTube for wanting to and asking questions, but you got to be on Patreon. They are the rules. So thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Don't forget to check out our video with Derek Manfield when literally just after it was announced. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. We'll see you later.